Bevy of Beavens. I'm Mel, and this is my homeschooling journey, some advice, some tips, things I've learnt along the way. So I'm glad you've come. Please subscribe and like, and you'll get notifications when I post a new video. So today's video is going to be on morning baskets and what they are. So earlier in my very first video, I explained that it's something we do as a family. They're quite popular. So I thought it'd be really nice to talk a little bit about them. I'll show you what's in our current basket and explain what we do with that and how we make it work for our family. So a morning basket is coined by Bardoe, and I'll link to her website below. It's just time in the day where everyone gets together and does shared learning, generally through literature. We also include games. You can include art, you could include project time or a experiment, something that you can just do together. It's a good way to start the day, we find, and then it kind of focuses everyone back into school as they're all off running, playing or doing chores or having breakfast and getting ready for the day. It's a nice way to call everyone to back to the table and kind of centre our day or start our day really. We meet every morning, and we don't always do a morning basket, but we also meet after morning tea time for another shared lesson for that same reason, to regroup everyone. They've gone off to play, they've had morning tea, especially the little ones are in the middle of games or finishing up their games. They're really excited by what they've been doing, and then if I called them in and said, right, it's time for maths, it would be really hard. But if I call them in and say it's time for art, or it's time to do architecture or history, or we're going to read or something like that, and then I get a better response. So that's how morning baskets work for us. They're a really great way. I know of people who do their morning baskets while having a beautiful morning tea. They set up teacups and tea sets, and the children have tea or juice or water in the teacups, and yeah, that's a really time they share the time around the table and they read good books and they have good discussions around food. So morning baskets could also be done at a morning tea time. We have fluctuated over the years about when we do ours. So we have had times when we start our schoolwork with individual studies, and then we spend morning tea time together doing morning baskets, which then is a really nice way to keep everyone together and a bit more focused while they eat, and that can be a really fun way to do it too. But in the season at the moment, we tend to do it at the start of the day, and then we also have another joint lesson after morning tea, and so that works for our family. Okay, so let's take a look at what's in my morning basket for not necessarily this week, it's probably a bit longer. We have a set few things that will always come in, and then we have, we might do a topic, we might be doing a project or something like that, and we'll have books that relate to that in the morning basket. So let's have a look what's in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you this, but I'll put it on my lap because this is my morning basket, and you don't have to use a basket. You could use a plastic tub, you could use a particular area, you could use a shelf on a bookshelf. It's about having the resources all together where you're likely to sit and want to use them. So maybe on a bookshelf, dedicating a shelf, which is your morning basket shelf, where you're sitting close by, and so when you start the day you can grab the things off the shelf. Maybe it's under the coffee table. Ours currently sits under our fish tank. We have a little table with a small aquarium, and it sits under there. So it's all ready for me to just grab the entire basket, bring it out to the lounge or the kitchen table, depending on where we're going, and ready to start. So it looks really full, and I promise you we don't do all of this in one day. So don't look at it and think, oh my, I can't do this, because you really can. There are some things that we do every day, and then there are some things that we do every other day or every few days, and then there are some things that we might only do once a week. So for us, there are certain things we always do, and that carries on every day. And then there are other things that kind of build to make a bigger topic over a period. So this is probably going to last us a month. If I'm really onto it, it might be a bit shorter. And if we've got busy doing other things or life takes over, then it's probably going to be a bit longer. But generally we aim for a month, and it has, and I'll switch out a few of the things as well as we go. So as I show it, I'll explain what we switch. The first thing in our morning basket at the moment is this book called I Am, 40 Reasons to Trust God. So we are up to the story, The Lord is my rock, and the Lord my rock called Jehovah Tsuri. It's a beautiful picture book here. And as you can see, we just read through it. We read the extra Bible verses and we talk about it. And we do that daily. Our next thing we have in our morning basket is called Sing the Word from A to Z, and it's just Bible verses. So we do that every day. In a new verse series, and this is Farmer Boy about Almanzo. So we are reading that. This is a beautiful illustrated edition. It's a Dover colouring book, and it's old-fashioned farm life. And so the kids will just colour in the different pictures that are there, and there's little stories as well. So it's a lovely little colouring book, and it ties in really, really nicely with the poetry. So we currently have the Usborne Book of Poetry, which have some lovely little poems. They're quite short and child friendly, so we would read a few of those every day or in the week. We have a focus on New Zealand, so this is the local conservation, the Forest and Bird Kids Club magazine, and so we read this and go just through whatever different things they have based on, it's a care by the way, New Zealand birds. The block we're doing is a maths unit, so we've included a lot of maths things into this a week, fortnight, month morning basket. So we've got drawing circles, and this just shows you how to draw different circles, starting with a 3-point circle and moving right up to 6 and 12, and so that's part of it. Part of our morning time, our children will be using these project books, which are just blank paper. The math stories, and one of the ones we have at the moment is Rabbits, Rabbits Everywhere, a Fibonacci tale. This is a story about a town that gets overrun with rabbits, and they don't know what to do, and they're called the Pied Piper, and he can't fix it. And a little girl called Amanda realises there's a pattern and a sequence to all the rabbits, and she goes and tells the wizard that there's a sequence, and the wizard tells her she's broken the spell, and then there's a lovely little rhyme that helps the kids think about the Fibonacci sequence, and it says, you can read it here, but I'll read it to you too. 1 + 1 is 2. 1 + 2 is 3. 2 + 3 is 5. 3 + 5 is 8. Each number is the sum of the two before. It's great. So, a little introduction to the Fibonacci sequence. We like to include a biography. So we're actually going to be looking at Nothing Stops Sophie, the unshakable mathematician of Sophie Germain and her early life. So just a beautiful illustrated story that we're going to be reading through. We'll do some extra work with that as well. Another one called A Remainder of One. This is a very simple book, but it's about division and how there's one left out. So that's another one of our storybooks. For the older ones, we have this Maths Quest, a Planet of Puzzles. We have a few of these. So it has a story, but then it has different patterns. If you identify the virus as the sclerovirus, go to page 36. And so you have to figure out different puzzles and riddles, and we probably work through this a few pages at a time until we get to the end of it. So it's kind of fun as well. So then the next one was Grandfather Tang's Story, and it's largely stories told about tangrams. It has these beautiful little tangrams at the top, and so we'll also use some tangrams, and we will make the little pictures to go with the story. Other thing we have is some just fun things, some nice little mesh sheets which we just kind of take out like that, and each kid will get a little fun sheet to do, just a little fun maths activity. We have games. Games are really important in our family. We play lots of them. So we've got Maths Fluxx, which is a lovely little game, and it you have goals and you have to reach the goal to win. So this goal says you need to make 3/4, which is 7 and 5, and so when you have a 7 and a 5, then you win the game. So there's rules. You pick one card up and you take one card back. So you play one card through, pick one up, play one card, yeah, so that's Maths Fluxx. It's not really an addition or a youth game like this, just a fun maths themed game, but we like to have those too. Our next little game you have is Tenzi. Tenzi often comes in tubes. You have 10 dice and you have to try and get the same number of all 10 dices, and so these are what the Tenzi cards look like. This is the expansion, but we thought it was a bit more fun to have a whole lot of different ideas. And so this one is a pattern, and you have to get the numbers when you roll your dice like into that pattern. And then some of them are words, and this one says roll all the 10 dice, get 4 4s, with the remaining 6 dice get 3 3s, with the remaining 3 dice get 2 2s, and last one to get 1. So you get 4 3 2 and 1, and then you would call remainsies, or we just say tensies. We use them with these dice, as you can see. Lots of different colours in our dice. There's 11 or 12 of each colour, so we can have about 6 people playing. So thanks for watching. That was what morning baskets are. Like and subscribe. See you next time.